How do you know what questions to ask your accountant? It's a big challenge because accountants are there to help you, but we have to know what questions to ask in order for them to be most helpful. So one of the roles that I serve in working with my clients is helping them communicate better with their accountant, knowing what questions to ask, and more importantly, knowing what to do with the information when it comes back, so that it's not just information, it's something that becomes actionable. So helping my clients understand the jargon, which is always a challenge. To give you an example, there are 2 terms for just about everything in accounting. So your profit loss statement is also called an income statement. There's no difference. It's exactly the same thing, but there are 2 terms for it. And so if your CPA is referring to your profit loss statement, but you know it as an income statement, you may be somewhat confused. So knowing how to ask the questions, knowing the jargon, understanding how you can take the information and advice that you get back, which is often extremely technical, and how you can bring that and put it to work in your company. Those are challenges where I serve as a kind of intermediary because I know what questions to ask, I know the jargon, and I know what to do with the information when it comes back. One of the things you'll want to ask your CPA, probably most importantly, are about tax consequences for you and for your company. So depending on the corporate structure of your company, you need to understand the tax consequences every year. And there are specific strategies that you can use to mitigate your tax liability. But again, you have to know what questions to ask in order for your accountant to advise you. The other really important thing to ask is about cash flow, about managing your cash, and about the structure of when you pay your bills, when you collect, how you should structure your invoices. There are a lot of technical pieces, and I help my clients with all of those things, and often we go back to their CPA for approval. We also want a checks and balance system. Fraud in small businesses is rampant. Because there are fewer controls in a small company than in a large company, people take advantage. Sometimes they're third-party vendors, sometimes they're employees. They're people who are in a position when you don't have things locked down, they can take advantage. And so I work a great deal with my clients to help them prevent fraud within their companies, put measures into place, and make sure that the CPA approves of all of these measures. Another example is every month you need to reconcile your bank accounts and your credit card accounts. That's reconciling it to the statement from the financial entity. If you have your internal bookkeeper handling all your bookkeeping and reconciling those statements, that is an area for fraud because your bookkeeper is the only person looking at those numbers. If you have an accountant, a third-party vendor, handle the reconciliations, then you have a check and balance. So building in all of those controls and knowing what questions to ask your CPA and what to do with that information when it comes back are critical elements of the financial health of your company.